Hey there, viewers. My name is Torinski, and welcome back to another DCSS Sunday. Today we're, of course, jumping right back into the usual routine, trying to get some wins with different deities here. And where we last left off, we'd been doing pretty well on our Hepliaklqana runs. Most particularly, we had good old Anthony at the end here, a wonderful Formicid hunter who, very fortunately, found themselves lucking into a +8 longbow early on, so hopefully we can continue that good luck here, continue sprinting our way through the dungeon, and maybe, just maybe, get a nice cheeky little win under our belt. But of course, who knows what the dungeon has in store, so without further ado, let's get ready, hop right into it. I also always feel like I have to mention this splash art screen whenever I get this upon launching the game. This is one of my favorite ones. It's just a beautiful piece. But anyway, we will, as promised, jump back into it here. And what do we wish to do to warm up here today? We still have the second floor of Orc to go, and then of course it's into our S branches. Swamp and Snake should both go fairly well, especially Snake. Being ranged is nice there. Between that and the additional speed we have over most Naga, we should be able to cheese our way through the majority of fights. Hopefully saving ourselves, since as a ranger, of course, we don't have the greatest defenses. A bit better, since we're a Formicid. We have this 24 shielding from this wonderful tower shield. But hopefully that's enough. You know what? I think we will start the day off here with some Orc. Let's finish getting revenge for our poor Elven Conjurer, who unfortunately died instantaneously upon going upstairs back to a different section of Orc 1. Well, howdy there. A nice little collection of rechargeable evocables here. Definitely interested in these. I'm trying to think of which ones we'd prioritize. Box of Beasts, I mean, it's always nice having more bodies in the air. Generally doesn't work too great until you have some evocations training, but Condenser Vein is really nice. And taking a look at our skills, we do have some evocations training, so it's only up from here. You know, I think we might drop this wonderful whip. I also just noticed that we already have a lightning rod of our own, so we don't need to worry about that son of a gun. But let's maybe pick up this Condenser Vein now. It might help out. We don't have the best AoE at the moment. Very good single target damage with our bow. So that kind of fills in a bit of a shortcoming. So let's just pick that bad boy up, shall we? And then back on the road we go. I can't imagine we'll be facing too much trouble here in Orc. But I'm more than ready to be woefully surprised, because sometimes things have a way of sneaking up on you for sure. It does look like we have the kind of demonic themed end to the floor here, so maybe, much like the last time we saw this, I'm just going to lock off this entire section temporarily, and we're gonna clear out the rest of the floor first, make sure that we have as much safe space as we can possibly find to retreat to. Of course, in this case, we're not going to be able to use teleportation scrolls or anything fancy like that, but it's still nice to be able to walk in any of the directions, especially as we get deeper and deeper into the abyss here. But we're just about done clearing the main section of the floor now. Yeah, just one-shotting ogres like it's nothing. Absolutely love to see it. Finally taking some damage there, which is slightly less than ideal, but nothing we can't handle. I was about to say, let's get revenge now and head upstairs and not die immediately, and then of course we run into Jorgrun, who's going to hit like a gosh darn truck. Petrify, one of the few things that we don't get invulnerability to with our stasis, unfortunately. But I do have one scroll of silence, so I think should be able to focus down Jorgrun. It does mean that our own battle mage is slightly less effective than normal, but nothing they can't handle. I almost could have told my battle mage to retreat out of the silence aura now that I think about it. Maybe something to keep in mind for the future. We do find ourselves coming across a few more of those scrolls in our journey. But for the time being, let's just finish this off. Definitely quite a few Orc priests, so this could start to go a bit downhill. In fact, let's take some of our new friends down, and we'll do a bit of cycling here just to try to make sure that we're staying as safe as reasonably possible. And that should be perfect. Yeah, especially with the might coming in from our knight friend there. But nothing we can't handle. And already back up to the amount of gold we were at before shopping at the evocable station here. So that is wonderful. Battle Mage, a little too intense. What's your name? Are you Aula? Aula. Right. Well, let's chill out there for a second, my friend. I'd prefer if you survive these escapades. I mean, sure, you come back in stellar form, but still would prefer to leave you as untouched as possible if we can. Now, it's almost a shame that we're playing Formicid. A couple Blink Scrolls for sale is truly wonderful. We will mark the enchant armor at least. Maybe pick up a Scroll of Fear. It's relatively cheap and could potentially save our life, so don't mind grabbing that bad boy whatsoever. That should be perfect. We don't have to worry about paralysis thanks to our stasis, so that is wonderful. As long as we can take out this Orc High Priest before they get too much annoying work in, and that should be just fantastic. And I guess this is just where we make our stand, keep trying to rest up until more and more enemies come, more grist for the mill. Fantastic. There we go. Finally, we're getting both of us up into the mix of it once again here. What the heck are you? Oh, just a normal demon spawn. How about that? No special traits, qualities, or flavor. Well, not too shabby here. Continue to make our way through as best we can, and that should be the end of it. Fantastic. Don't need to worry about that shop. Plate armor. As nice as it is to see an artifact plate armor, I think it's a bit too heavy for us. I could potentially check out the boots. We're currently wearing +1 boots that give a bit of strength. I mean, +2 boots would be nice and all. I'm trying to think if there are any egos that we actually want. Can you even get stat egos on regular boots? Because stealth and rampaging, meh. Neither of those really matter whatsoever, especially rampaging. Whatever, let's buy them and see what's what, shall we? +1 pair of boots. Thanks, but no thanks. I guess it works out. We get to keep our wonderful outfit going here. Our beautiful green and gold revelry? What's the word I'm thinking about here? I forget, but anyway, my mind goes completely blank, scrambling to try and find words in general here. Fantastic start to the day. But regardless of our it's like a knight's image. Anyway, brain, just give up. Just throw it out the window here. Let's stop trying. Whenever you find yourself struggling in life, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Just stop trying. Fantastic words of wisdom here on this lovely Sunday. But we can now think about where we wish to go next, and it's probably going to be go to one of our S branches here. And I'm thinking of starting off in Snake. If I take a look, we don't have poison resistance, so that might actually change my mind. In fact, both Swamp and Snake are relatively bad, but Swamp is probably slightly better. I guess the downside is that we get lots of clouds, but if we're lucky, in Swamp we can find ourselves a Swamp Dragon, take them out, get their skin, and wear it. So, with that plan in the back of our heads, let's head down. We'll dip our toes and see how Swamp is feeling this time of year, and if it's at all reasonable as something we can handle in the moment. Fantastic. Our buddy actually potentially coming in clutch there to keep us safe, blocking us from the harpoon shot of our Snake buddy. And fortunately, the druid does not start enraging the trees, because we would have immediately been in a bit of a nasty spot there. Completely surrounded, of course. But as is nothing we can't handle, more swamp worms, hello my friends, and otherwise the majority of enemies going down in one hit. There's where we saw one of the poison cloud friends, so that could have gone poorly. Please drop your skin. You son of a gun. And we asked so nicely too. But hey, not the end of the world. I'm sure we'll have plenty of opportunities here, even if we don't get the Swamp Dragon scales. We can hopefully find a different method of protecting ourselves from any poison before we head into Snake. And I mean, if not, it's probably not the end of the world. We've handled Snake without poison resistance before. It can be a bit sketchy, it's less than ideal, for sure. But nothing we can't handle at the end of the day. And oh no, my poor ancestor goes down, probably largely due to the Hydra. I know they were taking harpoon shots from the snake worm as well, but Hydras will do that to you. I should. Too little, too late. There we go. I was gonna say I should wait for my ancestor to come back. Unfortunately, Auto Explore not taking that into account here. But that's fine for the time being. Oh, hello there, my friend. Tentacled Monstrosity will definitely rack up the damage very quickly. If we have to get away, we can always shaft ourselves. We're in a half-decent position at the moment to do so. But is there any other alternative for taking you out? 126 HP. Oh, boy. Not kidding around, my friend. Oh, I just noticed we have a poison resistance ring in our inventory. Well, how about that? Why did my search for our poison not bring you up? Maybe I just picked it up after coming down here, now that I think about it, because I'm pretty sure we searched that right the first time. In fact, we can look in our history right there in the bottom bar. So that's pretty sweet. We already got what we came for. Now we just have to survive this tentacled monstrosity. And that's that. I'm guessing bad odds of charming you? Oh, just terrible odds. Now I'm woefully looking back on that box of beasts and wishing that we'd taken up the offer there. But not the end of the world. What else can we potentially do here? We have Quicksilver, which is high damage, but a little bit of waste of its auxiliary ability here. I mean, it's hard to argue with 67. 3d13 on the Ice Blast as well, completely undodgeable. Something to be said for that. Just have a magic regeneration amulet, so hopefully we can replace that at some point today. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, do I just start smashing? Unfortunately, this water is going to be a problem. In fact, I think, yeah, we immediately lose our extra gap here. Just to play it as safe as possible, I think I'll whip out the condenser vein. We'll get completely useless clouds of poison. Fantastic. And this way we're at least blasting both of them real quick here. And fantastic. We just barely managed to take out that tentacled monstrosity. Always fun when you see Zot level enemies in your S branches. Fantastic. Just what we wanted to see here. Now hopefully at some point we'll get the opportunity to rest up. We keep trying to, but unfortunately we drew a bit too much attention, or so it seems. There goes Alula again. I wish you'd stop charging directly into the fray, my friend. By our powers combined, we could do incredible things. Ooh, and a ghoul. Why, hello there. Quite a few kind of undead-themed enemies here so far. Not ideal for us, but fortunately, we have enough slaying power for it to not be the end of the world. Don't really love this. No resistance to negativity. Unfortunately, we don't have any rings we can swap into to gain any such resistances either. Could turn into a tree, I guess. It's kind of deciding that we have no shot of getting out of here. We're fully committing if we do so. but I actually feel pretty alright about it in this context. It'll give us nice extra defenses as well as enough positive energy to negate, I think, all the damage. Again, negative energy is one of the few resistances in the game that actually, at full 3 pips, transfers 100% resistance to negative energy, or at least so I believe. So that is just lovely. So in order to get poison resistance, we'll probably have to swap out our protection ring. Don't really want to get rid of this. That +6 dex and willpower both doing pretty wonderful things for us so far. But I go down to 8 AC. Oof. We'll hold off on that until absolutely necessary. For the time being, not actually facing too many poison enemies. And let's definitely, once again, focus down our ghostly friend. Oh gosh. And you know, I think once again here, we're going to turn ourselves into a tree. This time it's largely just for the armor class. You know what, let's kill the crocodile, since the pre-nymph here, the Alienoma, will just keep healing up, unfortunately. Just have to hope to deal enough damage to get out of this fight at some point here. Holy moly, friend. Hey Shad, thank you so much for the Prime subscription. And thanks for the congrats as well. Definitely pretty happy to get through the Great Player. And yeah, we kind of hinted at it in our intro for today, but I do believe that the plan now is to potentially, after taking a break, doing some 15 rune runs, doing a few silly runs in between, I think I kind of want to swap over to potentially trying to get, I believe it's Polytheist. And so I think the plan as it stands, and maybe subject to change, we'll see how things go. But as it is at the moment, I think the plan is to try and get wins with all the different deities. Very excited for especially the ones that we either haven't played really at all, or ones that have changed recently and that I largely ignore. It'll get me out of my comfort zone once again, very much like the Great Players series did. And so that sounds exciting to me, and I'm looking forward to trying out some of the different deities and seeing how things go and how we end up feeling about all of them in the long run. So definitely keep an eye out for that, and let me know which deities do you all want to see coming up next. Okay, but we get away from any of the trees this time. Gonna learn from our mistakes. And let's see if you drop your skin. Unfortunately not. Ooh, and that's a bit of a problem. Thorn Hunter could definitely be a pain in the butt. Oops. Especially if we accidentally take steps towards you. Line of fire to the Thorn Hunter is blocked rather by the Briar Patch. Then I guess we're gonna have to just hope our ancestor can do all the heavy lifting here. Gosh darn it, can't even do that, hey? I guess the other option is we can also bring in the Condenser Vein, let the clouds do a bit of the heavy lifting as well. Let's see, the Volley of Thorns is fortunately in range at the moment here, and 3d18 is nothing to sneeze at. Oh me oh my. Guess as is, we pretty much just have to wait this one out, wait for you to come towards us. I would like to hit the Briar Patch, please, and thank you, game. Perfect. Just finished my Demon Spawn 15 rune run earlier today. Was fun. Yeah, no, it's definitely an enjoyable one. All the 15 rune runs, whether successful or just attempts, were a really good time. And in fact, that still kind of is sticking around as far as I'm concerned. I think I'm going to, if I ever want a break from Polytheist runs, that's probably going to be my outlet, is potentially returning to that. Trying to get runs or 15 rune victories with various different flavors of characters should be a fantastic time. And you know what? Against this secondary Drake, let's take some early precautions here. Bring out the poison resistance, and there we go. We finally get some skin from these Sons of Guns as well. So with that, we can head on over and let's take a peek. Encumbrance rating of 7. And AC goes up by 1, so it's a little bit heavier than the Acid Dragon scales. but it will supply us with that poison resistance. And attack delay is still at 0.8, which is not too shabby whatsoever. So that's fantastic. Can't wait to see me play the lesser played deity. Right? Yeah, I feel like there are a bunch of them that, I mean, I definitely have very little experience in, and I don't really hear talked about much. I mean, part of what got me onto this was not only this Hep run being a lot of fun and something I'd never really explored, but right before this, we had a Merfolk of Red that we were trying out, and I just hadn't played Red in years, if ever, even. That there's a chance that I kind of just ignored the son of a gun. And it was kind of interesting, so I'm excited to see how some of those shake out. And of course, there'll be some of the usuals in there. We won't count any of the runs from Great Player, and we'll try to make our way through the list a bit more methodically. So we'll be seeing, you know, all of the hits, Gozag, Vehement, all that fantastic stuff. Maybe even some TSO, or I guess by definition at some point even some TSO. And hopefully get some fun excitement. Oh gosh. I was about to say, my buddy left my side just in time to let us get grabbed by a bit of a swamp worm action there, but we will, I think, just retreat upstairs and take these sons of guns out as cautiously as we can. And in fact, we might just swap stairs, play it a bit on the safe side. By our powers combined, a Thorn Hunter shouldn't be the end of the world. I don't love that alarm trap sitting just at the edge of vision, so we'll try to play it a little bit safe here as well. Head over to another stairwell. Still remember my Wujian Stabber? You think it's still one of your top run from the series? There's nothing quite like one shot in the Royal Jelly. It was terrifying when suddenly, after the fact, we were just completely surrounded by slimes. Not what I expected. But yeah, that Wujian Stabber, especially since I don't really play Stabbers very often, super fun. I mean, pretty high on my list of gods I'm excited to try out is, I think we're gonna at some point take a shot with an Uskaya-based Stabber. I was hearing some talk about that just the other day, and it seems like a very kind of interesting run to attempt. So I'm very excited to make my way through and see what other kind of combos we can come up with and what we end up giving a shot over the course of the series. Maybe, who knows, we'll even find some new favorites for the future, and I'll be absolutely hooked to a brand new playstyle. Would not be surprised. I mean, even the Great Player definitely gave me a new appreciation of a lot of the species. But yeah, I think that working our way through the deities will be a nice way of trying out a bunch of different playstyles, because we have a few different kind of stabber-based deities. Of course, your kind of usual casters. And so there's lots of fun and exciting new avenues for us to explore. Ooh, anti-magic. Shouldn't matter too much. Fortunately, we don't have to worry about paralysis, but 45 damage plus another 15. Probably let this one go on a little longer than I should have. I mean, I think we just have to go tree form. Fortunately, we have lots of healing at our disposal. And then what else? 18% chance to charm you. Don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. Could hit with Quicksilver, pretty good odds. I'm guessing you're cold resistant, my friend. Indeed does seem to be the case. But you're not lightning resistant, so I think we'll just swap over to the lightning bolts there. And what about you? What? You're in a similar boat. Let's just get blasting. And not too shabby. In fact, this will kind of guarantee the Spriggan gets taken down. And definitely a bit of an undead slant to the floor here. All the zombies coming out to play. And hello, my flayed friend. Goodbye. Okay, finally get out of our tree form just in time to try and back our way out of here. Potentially get a few more kills while we're waiting here. Not too risky. I mean, a swamp worm could definitely shift things pretty dang quickly. but barring extraneous circumstances, we should be alright to just continue murdering every single flavor of Undead Hydra here. Fantastic. Hey Brain, how's it going? Crawling is going wonderfully, still early days, but quite a fun character here today. And excited to continue moving forward and see just how much stronger we can become. And it should be pretty fantastic. I'm also just looking forward to exploring a bit more of Hepliaklqana here, seeing just how strong our ghost buddy gets. Ah. Well, how about that? I think we're just gonna have to take hits from enraged trees. Fortunately, the Leonin Hydra of the skeletal variety is a little bit distracted by our ancestor ghosts, so we can just start slowly but surely wandering away. And I think now is about the time that we could potentially start contributing to our armor skill, see where that goes, potentially more fighting as well, and evocations can also kind of join the fray here. And let's kind of set some arbitrary caps on all these bad boys and see how that goes. Oof. Skeletal, Lyran, and Hydra. Also mited. 27 times for 14 damage each. I think that's going to be a no from me. And in fact, if we didn't have to get this rune, I'd be tempted to just walk away from this encounter, because this is going to be an interesting endeavor. Especially since our friend seems to have escaped the coop here. Oh, there you are. Fantastic. Okay, turns out just starting the fight was the way to go because of our insane damage output, but still slightly frightening. Once again, we'll back off to the stairs. This time I just want to wait for our ancestor to get back on their feet, or rather floaty entrails of ephemeral goodness, and that should be just about perfect. So let's try our best to finish off the floor. Mangrove could definitely be a pain in the butt. Fortunately, we have decent damage output here. This time we don't get the briar patch between us and our friend. So that is wonderful. Still kind of in the way, unfortunately, but not too shabby. Let's actually take the shaman upstairs. That way we don't need to worry about miting our grove buddy here, and that should just about do the trick. I mean, how many more enemies could there possibly be? Don't answer that, DCSS.